Friday night. And, yeah, Justin Orick is going to be on here.
Haters want to say something. Just hating because I made something. Too scared, so they say nothing. Afraid I'll drop bees on them.
There's Ryan Ludowies, Carolina Boys, Beautiful Nightmare, Adam Calhoun, what? Scattered Brains.
I know what they saying. Uncle Kettle's out. They think I'm playing. He should probably quit. All the rings are taken. All I see is heads bobbing.
I can play some Scattered Brains later on. What he said?
You can talk all day. I feel better in the shade. Keep my seat lean back, rolling like a country.
Marie. How's it going? So, like we talked about, Justin Orick is coming on, right? And we are going to talk about everything that dude does. That dude hustles. We're talking about Hustle Hard Records, Adam Calhoun, obviously. We're going to talk about, he's the project manager for ACal Clothing. And I think that's what's up. Right there. There's Justin right there. But I think you guys hit a million in merch this year. And I want to say I heard that stat somewhere. But anyway, Justin, I'm going to send you, hold up. Hey, Justin, send me a request to go live, bro. But then we're going to talk about Justin with what Maximus Muay Thai in his fight and what it was like to get ready for that and kind of how that plays back into whether you're an artist or a producer or an entrepreneur, the simile that's there between the work and the effort and the suffering and all that. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about. And since he's a partner in Hustle Hard Records, I feel it is apropos to play some Hustle Hard Records while I talk to him. So we're going to start with, we'll start with Mr. Calhoun since he's the guy who started it. We'll play Billy Goat. Justin, you on here? Bam. Sorry, dude, I missed your request. I was too busy talking about your guys' music, okay?
What's up, man?
There he is. What it is. Justin.
What is up?
All right, so I'm playing Hustle Hard Records in the background while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, man, I hear one of my favorite songs off of Billy Goat, The Dollar.
Yeah.
Fix my lighting situation here. There we go.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then the beat from talk about that later, but that turned who Scattered Brains was.
Yes, sir.
That and the Broadnecks album.
Correct. Scat produced both Billy Goat and Broadnecks.
Yeah.
There we go.
Both are fire.
Yeah, both are two of my favorite albums, probably next to Pressure, which will be coming out. Pressure is probably Adam's probably Adam's best album, in my opinion, by a long shot.
Now, did I hear him say that it's more of a hip-hop or rap album than even Billy Goat?
No, I wouldn't say that. So I think he's made some references to how hip-hop this album's going to be. However, after listening to it, I would say Billy Goat was probably more concentrated on hip hop and rap. There are probably three really good country rap songs on here that are A plus plus quality that are just they're gonna be phenomenal, man. They're gonna be awesome tracks. And then the rest of it is straight hardcore rap, and it is. But even then, man, I think it's a fucking badass album. Is really what I could say. It's a badass album that's gonna bring a lot of attention to the genre. And I'm hoping, man, it elevates it.
Yeah. Who produced it?
Scatterbrains produced it, and then Ear God, aka Drew, aka Ear God, he's the sound engineer. He mixed and mastered it. He does so Scat does all of the beat production, and then Scat will come into town and help Adam produce the record. But Drew cuts all the vocals, mixes and masters it with Adam, takes the time to really go through the project and make sure everything's up to speed to his liking. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's like I saw. I want to say it was in one of the vlogs he did about the making of Pressure.
Yeah.
Like he had just laid down a track, and Ear God listens or is playing it back, and he just looks at Adam and goes, "That's easy money."
Yeah. Adam is listen, man. Adam goes in there and makes this shit look really easy. If you were to just go in there and watch Adam write and record, you would think that anybody could go in there and do that, and that's obviously not the case. But
Right.
Adam literally goes in there. I mean, the process that goes down. Adam gets his beats. He'll pick his entire beats for the album, and then he won't listen to them. And then he goes into the studio, and he'll just tell Drew to pull one up. He'll listen to that beat, and then he'll write for about an hour, and then that's it. And he'll write his shit, and he'll go in the booth, cut it up, chop it up, and it's done. And then that track gets put to the side until the end of the project. Adam will come back in and say, okay, let's mix and master this. And then when they mix and master, maybe there's some small changes that go into it, but he makes it look easy, man. And Drew too. Drew's all these guys, man. Scat is, when you talk about, first off, Scatterbrains.
Yeah.
Producing for Adam, producing for Broadnex, producing for Struggle Jennings, producing for Jelly Roll, Yellow Wolf. I mean, he's producing for all of the top guys in the lane right now. And
Yeah.
him and Adam have a really good cohesive working relationship. Adam wants something. Adam's very particular about his beats. He wants something. He's looking for something in particular. Pulling that out of his head is always a challenge, but he'll get it to Scat, and Scat learned how to really hone in on what Adam's looking for, and usually like boom, hits it right on the first pop, man. And he does a great job. Adam goes in there, cuts it all up, writes everything he's gonna spit, and then goes in the booth, cuts it up. Ear God is really good. He'll sit there, man, and he'll be like, "Hey, we got to run that shit back." And he's just an honest people. There's a really good group of people. This is what I can say. The entire team that we have, from the apparel to the music team to the touring team, we only take on the best of the best people. And that comes at that comes at a cost of we've had to learn a lot of hard lessons, and we've worked with people that maybe, you look back and you're like, shit, I wish we wouldn't have worked with those people. But
right. I mean, yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah, but there's such a culture in the company. There's probably, you have Adam running the whole thing, right? And then you have me, you have Austin, who's running the apparel, you have Drew, who's the sound engineer, Scat, and then you have Kevin, who's creating all the visuals. There's a culture in the team to be the best, right? So everybody's, and it's a healthy competition, man. Everybody's pushing on one another because we all collectively want to be the best. And I think that's what Adam is trying to bring out the most of country rap, is kind of bring our team culture into country rap of like, hey, we all need healthy competition because that's how this shit's going to grow, man. If we got a bunch of dudes at the top and there's a gap from the top to the bottom. We got no middle guys. You know, what do we have? We got 3 or 4 or 5 guys at the top who are doing it very well. And then we have a bunch of shitty fucking people at the bottom that are
Right.
just ruining it, right?
Become a niche instead of a genre.
It's a fad, right? We're talking about grunge rock here from the 90s. It'll just disappear after a decade, and it will have had its time. It will have had its people that carved its way, and then it'll die.
Right.
Yeah. We're trying to make this something that's recognized by the hip hop community, which is that's a fucking task right there. But then aside from that, man, something that's gonna stay here forever, right? If you were to ask me the next 3 guys coming up, number one, everyone watch Kid G, right? Kid G I'm watching what this dude's doing. His numbers are insane. I think he's got a lot of wind in his sails right now. Watch for Domain, number 2. Domain has one of the most craziest, unique sounds that I've ever heard.
I've been preaching Domain for 1.5 years, brother.
Yeah, man. I've been following Domain. I think I reached out to Domain, hit me up about 1.5 years ago too, and was like, "Hey, man, check out my shit." And I was like, you know, and this, I don't want to sound arrogant, but it happens a lot. People tell me like, "Hey, man, check out my shit," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Man, I listened to that guy's tracks.
Too.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, what? I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? This shit could win Grammys and right now, the way it's produced. And I'm like, dude, why aren't you on right now?
Left on artist, in my opinion, that I can think of.
Yeah, man. So I think he's next. And then, you know, I think the number 3 spot, I have a couple people in mind, but Kid G and Domain, man, I definitely think are the future of the genre, right? Those are the younger guys that are, you know, I guess Domain's not that young. I think Domain's like 29 or 30. I think he's around the same age as me. But Kid G, I think, is like 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the future, man, and we want to build something that's here for them to then take on and run with it and make it something else, right?
See, Kid G, I wasn't sure if he was independent when I first saw him.
I don't think he is.
You don't think he is independent?
I don't think he is. I could be wrong. I think there's man, we'll get into this, I'm sure. There's a couple people claim to be independent, but the reality is I think there's very few actual independent artists out there. There's a lot of people that claim to be independent that have some sort of financial backing, or have some sort of connect into the industry that they don't got, you know. So, you know, I'll leave it at that. I'm sure we'll get into that down the road.
Well, all right. So what I want to talk, we touched on some of it.
Yeah.
But everything that I want to talk about just boils down to all of it that you deal with boils down to just perseverance and hard work and the desire to be the best that you can be. Now, I know you're a Marine. Didn't use, I think that was an Army slogan.
Yeah. That's all right.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. You guys do deserve discounts at like
I'm against the discounts.
I've seen on your story how times you like ask if there is if you're like, I was a Marine, do I get a free pop? And you know, I respect that, dude.
Hey, most people do. I respect those. Listen, I respect anybody that served. I respect anybody that's worn the uniform. I respect anybody that's gone over there and done what they did. You know, for me personally, I joined when I joined the military, I literally walked in the recruiter's office and they're like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I'm going to kill people." And that's literally, I was like, you know, I think I was, I was 16 years old. Uh, I was 11 when 9/11 happened.
Right.
So it had a huge impact on me.
Oh,
And and all I knew
give
at
me
that age, yeah, like all I knew at that age was I want to hurt, I want to hurt the people that did this.
oh yeah, you want to hurt the bad guys.
And through that process you grow obviously, but that was what I wanted to do. So when I enlisted, that's what I wanted to do. I had no thought of, oh, this is going to be crazy, man. I'm going to get free college when I come home, and I'm going to get all these discounts and all these, like, none of that was a thought in my mind. Didn't want it. Well, even when I got out, I said, I don't take advantage of any of it pretty much. The only thing I pretty much have is like a VA home loan on my mortgage, right? But I wanted none of that shit. I just wanted to go in. I wanted to serve. I wanted to fucking hurt the people that did that shit to us. That's all I could remember was, we need to avenge these people that they hurt, and all of the families and generations, literally, if you think about those 1,000 people, the 1,000+ people that died on 9/11, and how that impacts millions of other people, generations stopped,
Yeah.
children that didn't, children that their parents didn't come home and shit like that. So I just remember we need to avenge these people. We need to go over there. We need to hurt the people that did this. We need to make sure it never happens again. And then that was it. I never had a thought of like, oh man, this is gonna be sick. I'm gonna come home and get free college. I'm gonna come home and get all these discounts. And I say a lot of these things because if anybody, and I'm sure there's some people in here that have served, that are veterans themselves. The veteran community right now has a big fucking problem of crybaby, complaining fucking victims, people that think they're a victim because they serve this country. And it's just funny to me because I like to remind people, I don't have to, I like to remind people that you volunteered to do this. Now, the counter argument to that is like, full disclosure, when I was 16 years old and I signed the dotted line, and then I later went into boot camp when I was 18, no matter how much you think you're ready to go do that, no matter how much you train to go do that,
Right.
going overseas and doing it is something that no one can ever prepare you for. It's not really, you do kind of get over there and you're like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Um, but with that being said, look, I even in those moments, I signed up to do this. Don't forget that. Nobody forced me, nobody pushed me to do this. It wasn't like this is all I had going for me. No, I volunteered myself to come do this.
Yeah.
This is what the fuck we're gonna do. We're gonna do it to the best of our ability, and we'll deal with the repercussions later, And even then, like the repercussions, I get it. Like people go over there, you see fucked up shit,
Yeah. I
and
was
and
out for 9 years, and
yeah, like I get it, man. You come home and
I
you
didn't
do
see
that.
as much as you guys did, but just the stuff that I did,
Yeah,
it affects you.
yeah, man. Like it's fucked up, right? But even then, you come home, man. You gotta battle through. You gotta fight through because
Yeah.
if you're a fucking victim, you're never gonna go anywhere. And that's my opinion. And we'll get into all this about life and everything. But yeah, man, victims are fucking losers. That's plain
Yeah.
and simple.
The victim mentality. Yeah.
It's a victim mentality, and you're gonna listen. All this shit happening in the world right now, right? Everybody wants to blame what's wrong with them on something. I get it. I'm not saying these things don't exist. I'm not gonna sit here and try to fucking tell you racial inequality doesn't exist. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that sexual sexism doesn't exist. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you uh discrimination doesn't exist. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? Right? There's always going to be evil in this world. There's always going to be bad people in this world. You can try to do your part to be a good person, but in terms of yourself, man, you're responsible for yourself. If you're fucking stuck in a shitty situation, it's because you haven't done shit about it. That's it. And what breeds that is a victim mentality.
Right.
So, just my opinion.
There's this illegitimate self-entitlement that people have
Yeah.
that blows me away. Just that it's about everybody has the opportunity. It's just are you going to take advantage of the opportunity and actively go after what you put a post out, and I'm going to plug my website that I just launched.
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. www.uncleturtlelive.com. And on it, I've got just a blog that I try to write something every day that I'm dealing with or thinking about in regards to me making music and doing this and stuff like that. But the first one that I wrote is that, what was it? Day one or one day. You put that post out story. And I was like, what it is. I'm 46 years old, bro.
Yeah.
And the problem with I'm sorry, I apologize to the world, but you need to blame Gary Vee and the fact that I found Gary Vee and Adam Calhoun at the same time, bro.
Yeah.
And I saw Calhoun in concert.
Yeah.
With it was you can't see my poster. It's too dark.
Demon?
Yeah, it was
Probably Demon Jones, yeah.
Demon and Justin Time and Big Mark.
Yep.
And it was in Salina, Kansas.
Yeah.
And actually, he had a song. He has a song with Mises. That was my favorite song by him at the time. And I bought the Crazy White Boy shirt and sold it to me. Right? I didn't even know it was Mises.
Yeah. Yeah. Back when Mises was behind the merch table.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, dude that sold me the T-shirt gets up and raps on my, I'm like, that's the guy.
Yeah, yeah. Chuck used to work the merch table for Adam. A lot of people don't know that. Mises used to work the merch table.
I love Mises.
Yeah.
But
phenomenal dude.
Okay, so you're a partner in Hustle Hard.
Yeah, correct.
With Adam.
Yep.
And you guys signed Broadnax. Broadnax is my favorite rapper, by the way.
Yeah, man.
Hands down.
Yeah. He actually just released if anybody doesn't know, he just released a 16-bar challenge. There's a big 16-bar challenge going around in the country rap genre right now. And man. What's that?
Who's doing that? I saw
it's hosted I think it's so Bobby Briscoe, who's a producer down in Louisiana, and then Chief got Beats, which I've never heard of him. But they produced the track and they're the ones who put it out with another gentleman. I can't think of the third guy's name, but it's been Adam did it just for fun, and then Broadnax just released his tonight. So I'll just plug that real quick. Go check that out because that is dope ass fucking. Both Adam and Broadnax murdered that beat, man.
Broadnax mentioned, I can't remember what song it is, but he says Bobby Briscoe on the beat, bitch. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what song do you Pocket Watch?
Yeah.
Pocket Watch is Bobby Briscoe. It's the only track. It's the only track that's on the album that is in Scatterbrains.
Right, that threw me off because I knew Scat did that album.
Yeah.
And honestly, Broadnax is so crazy. I thought that was just another name he had for himself.
No. Yeah.
So I was like, that must be one of, he's Boogeyman, he's Broadnax, he's Mr. Broadnax, he's all these things.
Yeah.
I was like, Bobby Briscoe, I guess he's Bobby Briscoe too. And then
I found
man. Bobby Briscoe is actually a producer.
Yep. dope ass producer too.
Yeah, yeah.
He produced Bobby Briscoe produced Ratchet Strap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, and you said he's from down in Louisiana also?
Yeah, I think he's West Monroe.
West Monroe. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That brings us to Cinny Sticks and not Cinny. What they're the Sticks, right? Cinny Sticks is
Yeah,
the
yeah. They're called the Sticks, and you got Cindy Sticks and Joe Sticks, which make up the Sticks.
Stick.
And yeah, man, like lifelong
I'm
friends.
told someone I was like, I think it's the Sticks.
Wait, here, hold on. I gotta correct this because I see Scat in the comments. So I guess Scat did produce Ratchet Strap. So see, there's my fuck up, man.
Oh,
I know Bobby Briscoe did another track for, maybe he did I don't know.
keep
I'm
them.
not gonna misspeak.
That,
I know Adam and John. I know Adam and John have a track. Maybe it hasn't been released yet. That's from Bobby Briscoe. So I misspoke. Sorry, Scat.
keep him straight, Scat.
Yeah, man. Always.
Awesome.
See, yeah, man, I'm sorry. So Cindy Sticks and Joe Sticks make up this Sticks. We just signed them to Hustle Hard. I think we're geared up for their first project in April time frame. We got another artist that we can't, unfortunately, I can't release her name yet, I should say, that we just signed, that we're getting ready to sign to Hustle Hard, and probably around the same time frame, April, May, we'll start getting their projects in line and get ready to push them out.
Did you just say that you guys were about to sign a female artist?
Correct. Yeah.
That's dope.
Somebody we've had our eye on for a little bit. Yeah, man, that'll be pretty exciting. I think Savannah's brought a lot of cool shit to like just a completely different perspective to the lane, which I think was well needed after some of the things that happened with previous females.
It was
So
timed.
yeah, man. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. Definitely.
Okay, so you have those artists. As what do you guys, and kind of what is the process you guys go through when you're looking at an artist? And I know it probably first starts with somebody hears them by accident or something, but just how does that happen?
Yeah, man. So realistically, Adam handles all the A&R. So Adam will, Adam's always listening to shit. What's coming up? Who's in the lane? What's coming on? Basically, just keeping an eye on the lane. I'll send him shit that I'll see that I'll think, hey man, you need to listen to this person. But Adam makes that decision, and I'll be like, hey, I think we should sign these people, and then he'll come to me. We'll get them onboarded. So we have a complete onboarding process that is, this is probably this is a really good kicker right into if you are an artist. I'll take you through step one to kind of the end. First thing we sit down with them, first off, an artist has to be ready to come into the label. We're not a big box label. I'm not trying to bring you in, and Adam's not trying to bring you in and change you and manipulate you and change everything to be something that you're not.
Put you into a mold for an image.
Right. Adam wants you to be ready to come in, and he just has to do his thing and really get you going. So Adam will bring him in, we'll sign him, and then what I like to do is run you through an onboarding process. First thing you need to do as an artist, and this is kind of, I'll throw this generally for anyone that is an artist. You have to identify core values in your mission statement. You have to identify your why, because that's going to help you identify your audience. And this is just, if you're an artist, what do I mean by that?
You got to tell me that you're going to start, like, you should hold up a sign and be like, prepare yourself. I'm about to drop a knowledge bomb. Ready. Like,
yeah.
I was thinking still, I'm like, they're going to sign a female artist. That's dope. I wonder who it is.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, man.
Here's a bunch of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Start saying that part again.
Fair warning. We'll drop warnings before we drop some knowledge.
Yes.
So first and foremost, you got to develop your why. If you're an artist, the most important thing you're gonna do is identify your core values. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What do you represent?
No,
Go ahead.
Politically, or do you mean?
No, not politically. I mean, as a person, what kind of music are you making? What kind of music are you trying to make? Could be, some of it probably in some relevance translates to politics, but I'm not trying to bring politics. That's not my concern when we're trying to do this. I'm more concerned about this is something that comes naturally. Like for Adam knows what he stands for. He knows where he drew that line in the sand, right? And he could tell you exactly what he stands for. And he could just blurt out all those core values, right? And you probably have heard Adam just bang this shit into your fucking head by now, right? Always show up, be about it, loyalty, respect. Like these are all things that Adam stands for.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I want these upcoming artists. Before you do anything, if you don't know what the fuck you stand for, where you stand, what are we talking about here? Because then I don't know what kind of music you're going to make. I don't know what kind of creative you're looking for. I don't know what audience to market you to, because what the fuck do you stand for? Do your principles even align with ours? Are you a snake? But that process starts with a deep internal audit. So you got to, this is what I recommend. You take a notebook and you write down 40 to 50 core values that you believe in, right? Words, and these can be words or phrases: integrity, honesty, loyalty, respect. You can even add some. You can even add some verbs or some nouns, some pronouns in there, right? Describing your look or your feel: rugged, raw, authentic, things like this. And you write these 50 things down, and then cut it down from there, right? So, you got 50 words on a piece of paper. Cut that shit down to 20. And then cut it down again to 10, and then cut it down to 6. Now you have your core values. Take your 6 core values that you believe the most in and write a mission statement about what the fuck you're trying to do with your music. Take those 6 words, write a statement on what you're trying to do with your music. Then you take those things, you say, okay, where the fuck is this audience at? Go find that audience, right? And then, when you're building, you have these 6 core values, you have a mission statement. Now, when you go build an apparel line, when you go write music, when you go do your tour, all of that has to centralize around what the fuck you stand for, right? And when you do it the right way, and when you truly audit yourself in the beginning, I think Adam Calhoun is the perfect example. It all is synonymous, right? The ACal brand it's a lifestyle, right? And that's what you're trying to do. That's what I think as an independent artist you should be trying to do, is create a lifestyle.
It's all consistent.
It's all consistent, right? You don't see some crazy shit going on with the apparel brand that doesn't match the messaging of the music or what we're doing on tour or what we're doing with our other artists. It's all consistent. It's all synonymous. It all flows. So write those core values, right? They could be 6, 8, 10, whatever you want. Turn it into a mission statement. Once you have that mission statement.
You don't care if I put a chew in, do you?
What's that?
You don't care if I put a chew in, do you?
No, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I mean, on a rough day, I'll throw in a chew now and again. So, but yeah, man, take those core values, write a mission statement, take that, and that's going to identify what your audience is, right? And what kind of music you should be making and what the fuck you should be saying based upon what you believe, right? It keeps you authentic. It keeps you genuine. You can't be, if you're not a dude. Perfect example, I think, is a very simple example that we see all too often in hip hop and rap. If you're not a dude that grew up in the hood, or if you're not a dude that didn't do gangster ass shit, why the fuck are you talking about gangster ass shit? Right? if you're not a dude that comes from a rough background, right? Like you don't hear Little Dicky talking about how he grew up with this rough life, right? Like Little Dicky, look, and this guy owns. There's nothing wrong with this. Little Dicky is a rapper from the suburbs, right? And he owns that shit. That's his shit.
And he
Own
is
that shit,
ass at it.
right? And that dude is making more bankroll. The guy's got a TV show on FX where he's got a crazy ass podcast represented by Scooter Braun. Like that dude's living, he's living a good life. My whole point is don't try to be something you're not. And the way you do that and the way you always keep yourself centered and grounded is with those core values. And when you hit those, it does a couple of things for you. It obviously identifies what the fuck you're going to do as an artist. It keeps you grounded, right? So you don't get too fucking crazy, and it's always there to motivate you. So when you come back and you start hitting these rough patches in the music industry, maybe a video doesn't go the way you want, maybe an album doesn't sell the way you want it to, come back to your why, man, because your why is gonna, if you're really about it, then you're gonna stick it out. So
did you see Scat you're saying right now?
no, what's Scared saying? Yeah. Oh shit, my bad. Yeah, good old scat fashion.
ACal Apparel said start with why.
Start with why, man. That's what I preach. That's what I preach. I've preached it my whole career. That's probably Austin. That's probably Austin talking there. Austin's a unique dude. So Austin runs our apparel. He runs the day-to-day operations for ACal Apparel. Austin's been with me since I think I was like 24 years old, and I was a rookie amateur in business. Like I was just running my team for the first time, and these are things that I've been consistent with since day one. Like even my personal brand, which isn't a brand, right? But it's what I fucking stand for. It's been consistent from day one in business, and I teach and practice these things, Your why is going to pull you through the tough times. Your why is going to line up who the fuck you need. It's a starting point, right? So that's the best thing you can do is sit down with an artist. Then, if we're going through that process, you've laid out your core values, you've written your mission statement, you've established what the fuck you stand for, you've carved out an audience that you need to target based upon the kind of content that you're creating. By the way, this isn't that whole portion right there is not specifically for music. That is with anything you do. That's a business. Like if you're gonna start a clothing company, if you're gonna start a marketing agency, if you're gonna be an influencer, that's your starting point,
Earlier,
man.
I said, if you're an artist, and then I was like, wait, this isn't just about that.
Yeah, man. This is
any type of entrepreneur.
Yeah, this flows through everything. So once we got your core values, man, once we got your mission statement, we've carved out an audience that is going to fit your brand. Then we can kind of get into the fun stuff, right? We can get into logo building, right? And again, first thing we're going to build is your logo, and we got to make sure that it flows with your core values and your mission statement and your why.
Right.
We look a little bit into color theory, right? There's certain theories that are corresponded with different colors, right? Blue makes you feel a certain type of way. Green is obviously money, earth, clean. There's some really deep studies into this done by psychologists.
On Thursday, it makes you horny.
Exactly, man. Right? Titty Tuesday, really. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So this is like, we'll look at the color theory. We'll create a logo. So kind of once we got you established there, we're good. Then we'll move on. We'll actually set up your infrastructure. So we need to set you up with an LLC or some sort of business, right? We have attorneys. We got 2 attorneys that are on retainer for both Adam and Hustle Hard. And we look at, we got to set you up with an LLC. Sometimes it makes more sense to set up an S Corp. I guess the only thing I could tell you there is if you're new to business and you're new to understanding this, understand that you as an individual, if you're taking on money from any sort of company, you're considered a contractor and you are going to pay 30 to 33% taxes on that revenue. So if you're an artist signed to Hustle Hard Records and I pay you $100,000, you better put $33,000 aside because you are going to pay that in taxes. However, if you set up an LLC, or in some states it's more beneficial to set up an S corp, you can get it as down like North Dakota's or Wyoming is the new one to pop up. You could set up an LLC in Wyoming and it's like 8% taxes. So now instead of spending $33,000 on taxes because you were taking that money on solely as an individual, you now just saved yourself a shit ton of money. You only got to pay $8,000 in taxes. So we set the guys up with all their business infrastructure, and then we actually go in and build their. Yeah, go ahead.
About that.
Sorry.
So no. Like you're spitting bars, bro. And
Yeah.
I guess my question is, you said Wisconsin was like 8%.
Wyoming's the new one. So Delaware, everyone knows Delaware is the one that used to be the place where you register your LLC because you pay 11% in tax. It's the lowest of the 51 states we have. Delaware up until 2021, this literally a couple days ago, used to be the lowest place you could set up an LLC. It costs 500 and this is we'll get into it here. It costs $550. You do have to have a registered agent, but you set up a business in Delaware, right? Lil Dicky actually raps about this. This is kind of funny. He talks about having an account. He talks about having his LLC established in Delaware. You pay 11% taxes in Delaware, which is lower than most places. Like Chicago here in Illinois, it's about 21%, right? As of this last year, Wyoming is now the cheapest at 8%. So you set up a business, an LLC, and as an LLC, you only pay 8% taxes compared to as an individual, most states are like 28 to 33%. So just to give you an example, if you were to set up a business, like here in Chicago, if Adam were to just take money on from all of his money, if you were to just take it on as an individual, he's going to pay 33% taxes on his own. Setting up an LLC, he only pays 22% taxes. So it's extremely important for financial reasons as well as legal liability reasons, which I'm not going to get into. That's because that we'll be here all night. But
he's the boy from Illinois. That's the boxer name I gave you on my video.
There you go.
But and we're going to get to that soon.
Yeah.
He can register the LLC in Wyoming.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. I mean, you could set up an LLC as long, for the most part. So I'll give you Adam's infrastructure. We have a parent company that is in Delaware that owns all of our subsidiary. We have an LLC that's set up in Delaware. That LLC owns ACal Inc., which is an S corporation that's set up here in Illinois. So ACal LLC owns ACal Inc. ACal LLC is in Delaware. ACal Inc. is in Illinois. ACal Inc. owns all the subsidiary companies: Hustle Hard Records, ACal Touring, ACal Music, and ACal Apparel. And listen, this is completely legal. All of our companies at the bottom, they're called shell companies. They do all the day-to-day business, and all of our contracts for each are written underneath them, but they're just pass-through monies to get money all the way up to the top. In essence, and I'm not going to it's very complex, and we could talk about this all day.
Okay.
It's very complex, but in theory, if you wanted to sue Adam Calhoun or me or myself, it is going to cost you right off the bat about 50 G's just to find out how to sue us. Because we've protected everything properly, and then of course it just goes without saying, and this is I can give you multiple examples of where I've seen this personally happen in the music industry. You have ACal Touring separate from ACal Music, right? If we go on tour and let's say somebody hops up on stage and I'm standing next to Adam and I accidentally shoot someone, let's just say, right? And let's say I wrongly shoot this dude, but the cops acquit me. The cops acquit me of the charges.
You're still be held liable civilly.
I'm still liable civilly through the company, right? And anybody with a half a brain would be like, yo, we got to sue the company because they're the ones with all the money, which is great. But what's safe there is you could sue the company, but you will not come after the apparel. You will not be able to come after Adam's Music, and you will not be able to come after Hustle Hard Records because we've had it all set up legally, and you won't be able to go after ACal Inc. because all of our contracts are done through each company. So that's really the legal benefit of setting up each individual company is if you have one company that's taking in your merch, your tour, your music, if someone fucking sues you for a copyright issue, they're taking you to the bank for all that shit, even if none of that other shit has anything to do with it, bro. You could be doing $1 million in apparel, $1 million in music, and $1 million in touring. You got $3 million right there. If you fuck one of those things up or somebody comes after you, they're coming after all that shit, bro. You know, where in this case, if you break it all up, they can only come after $1 million. That's really the thing. So,
Hey,
yeah.
everybody on here should be paying tuition right now.
Yeah, man, definitely not. I like to share knowledge, and listen, anybody that
Cool time.
wants, and I think most of the people in here know this about me. I'm willing to give it away for free to anybody that's willing to spend the time to really learn it, right? I want other artists to be able to come up independently. Adam is 100% independent. We don't have a record label. We don't have financial backing other than Adam. We don't have any of that. We don't have a publicist. We don't have a PR team. We don't have an agent. Adam doesn't have a manager. I kind of just manage all of his businesses for him. But I'm not actually like I don't tell Adam what direction to go in the music scene. I just help him structure his businesses. I'm really a business
I would
manager. I
like
just structure his shit.
to see you try to tell Adam which direction to go musically.
No, yeah, no. That doesn't. I mean, look. Hey,
I
I'll
want
tell you this.
the video of the Maximus Muay Thai boxing match that would happen promptly after you did that.
Yeah, man. I'll say this, dude. I mean, me and Adam, I've known Adam for a long time now, from the very beginning when he was a nobody.
Yeah, your deal, you were like choosing between basically your dream job and
yeah, man.
Adam was like, I don't know, and you were
Yeah,
like,
man.
let just let me do it.
Yeah, man. My daughter was 6 weeks old. I got let go from a really good job where I was very comfortable. And then I went to Adam. I was like, you know what? Like I was itching to get back into the music industry. I was like, I don't know, man. I want to get back in the music industry. And I called Adam. I said, hey, bro, I want to come back in the music industry. Let me come work with you. He's like, he was on tour. He said, listen, man, I'm gonna be back home in 2 weeks. Tour's done. Let's talk about it. Come on over. We'll go get lunch. We'll go get breakfast or whatever, and we'll talk about it. I said, okay. And then like a week went by, and there was an opportunity that came from Google. I was managing Google digital marketing at the company that I had previously working for, and I got to work with a lot of the big shots at Google and just do a lot of cool shit there. And I was offered a job almost immediately, and man, I kind of like sat on it and was like, I knew the culture at Google, right? I've been to Google multiple times, having worked with them. I've been to their New York office. I've been to the Chicago office. I've been to their headquarters out in Silicon Valley. Amazing company, but I know the culture, right? I'm kind of hard-headed. The victim mentality thing doesn't play well to me. So the idea of running around with, and I don't want to be ignorant, but I'm going to generalize here. The idea of running around with a bunch of fucking little pussies crying and complaining all the time and having their fucking microaggressions and their safe spaces and wasn't appeasing to
Hey,
me.
I live in Northwest Kansas, bro, in the middle of nowhere. We got a ton of cows and a couple of hicks.
There you go, man.
Like to us, it's a comedy.
Yeah, man.
When we hear about I need a safe space because they didn't use my preferred pronouns. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you?
Yeah, man. So, but even beyond that, and that, listen, I can deal with that, man. I'm a people person, right? I don't mind. If you feel a certain type of way, I don't mind. I don't want to say catering to it, but I understand it. I get it, and I play politics pretty well. I learned from one of the best mentors ever, right? But with that being said, what really fucked with me even more was like the people at Google, they really want you to kind of live there, right? That's why they create this campus that you guys see on the fucking the TV shows and shit, right? You can eat there, you could sleep there, they got fucking nap pods. Like this is real shit that happens at Google, and it's because
I don't
they
have
want,
no.
yeah, it's because they want you at your desk fucking working, right? So nonetheless, it was like it wasn't appealing to me, right? And it was going to be even longer hours, it was going to be more demanding, the money was going to be phenomenal. And I always like to say, you know what, I maybe you just come home and wipe the tears off your face with the amount of money you have, but I'm not really a money person. So it wasn't for me. I went and sat with Adam and I said, hey bro, I think I could do this. And Adam's like, I don't think I need you. And I was like, respectful. I get it. I said, look, man, give me 2 months. If you like it, let's work something out. If not, if I can't show you some sort of monetary gain or increase in any of your shit you have going on, then I'll bounce. And I'll go work.
Yeah.
I'll go work at,
Yeah.
I'll go work at Google. But and then here I am 2 years later. So
Well,
I made the cut.
that's the thing. You grind it. I mean, you showed him what you could do for him.
I think so, right? I hope so.
Provided him value, and now you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah, man, I hope so. Look, we don't have there's no yes sir, yes man culture. And that's what I was gonna go back to is like is you had said, I hope, I'd love to see you give Adam music advice. I don't give Adam any music advice. What I give him is consumer advice, right? Like I'll hear the album and I give him feedback
Yeah.
as a fan, as somebody that understands the genre, the consumer, and my own personal thoughts and belief, right? And it's really cool. And I take it for granted, now that I sit here and think about it, that he asks for my opinion now. He'll be like, hey man, what do you think? This is what I want to do with this album. I want to drop Larry Bird as the first video. I want to drop this, and he asked for my opinion, which is really cool. So,
What? And I don't know. I'm assuming at some point you disagreed with him. How did that conversation go? Was he like,
multiple times, man, multiple times.
where are your Crocs? Hey, do you think I should video? And you're like, Adam, no. And he's like, and then just turns around and walks out and does it anyway.
So with everybody in every aspect of everything that we do is very competitive, and they're very emotional, and they're very driven. When you put two alphas in a room.
Hold on. I see where this is going for a second.
Yeah, do your thing.
I need another beer.
Yeah, man, grab your beer. When you put two alphas in a room that both have two different opinions, and look, me and Adam, we've probably had in the last 2 years probably 3 or 4 really good fucking arguments that have turned into shouting matches where, I leave the room or he has to leave the room. I've gone home for a day, man, because yeah, dude, and but here's what it is. It's not it's me and Adam, I think, have probably, listen, man, I say this a lot. I take for granted the relationship that I have, right? It's really cool to watch my friend and how far he's come and the shit that he's done and the people that he's inspired. And I take for granted, admittedly, every day that I get to walk into his building and run his companies and interact with him every day. Like I take 100%, I take that for granted. But at the same time, I take it very fucking seriously what I do. The apparel, the music, the everything, right? Like I want Adam to be the fucking best. That's
Right.
it. And I won't settle for anything less. Sometimes his opinion on how to be the best is different than my opinion, or sometimes he has a different opinion on a direction we should go with one of his companies, and I have a different opinion. And
Well, it's because your opinion, when you argue,
yeah,
that that tends to happen
yeah,
when you have you have a dual relationship where you're friends
yep,
and
exactly.
want to see him do well
Yes,
as his friend, but then
yeah,
you're also kind of part of the reason or part of
yeah,
the decision as to whether or not he does do well. And
yeah,
so you are looking at it. The arguments come when you're looking at it from the business perspective,
yeah, for
and
sure, man.
because you're like, I'm just trying to help you, motherfucker.
So literally, and I was gonna say this, man. We go at it. We've gone at it 3 or 4 really good times, not fighting or physical altercations, but where it's come pretty close, right? And I have to sit there and stand and look him in the eye and say, motherfucker, I want you to win. I want everyone here to win. I want this to be the best fucking thing that we could possibly make it. Let's find let's find a way to make that happen. So look, he's not emotional. He's a fiery dude. I can be a fiery dude. And the biggest problem that we have is that friendship aspect, right? Sometimes I don't come at him when I should come. I don't come at him professionally when I should come at him professionally because he's still my boss. I'll
Right.
come at him as like a, hey bro, what the fuck, you know, and then
Yeah.
you know, Adam is a killer, dude. So it's like throwing a fucking sheep in a T-Rex cage, you know?
Yeah.
So he'll snap really quick. But for the most part, I would say 363 out of 365 days, we no problems, no issues at all. We have those 2 days every year, maybe. But it's because of how fucking hard we want to go.
I mean, that number is amazing.
Yeah, it's
You think,
I know. Trust me, compared to some of the other camps and some of the other horror stories that I've heard, I know that's not
I
it's
mean,
not bad.
two major alpha males,
Yeah,
both having their own opinion on how to achieve the same goal.
yeah,
That's a recipe for disaster. And
yeah, man.
but
And
that's where the friendship comes in because that's what keeps it from becoming something it shouldn't be.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
man. And I gotta be honest, like I said, I fully own up to every one of those disagreements because in the end, I'm dealing with Adam's brand. I'm dealing with Adam's image. Most of the time, listen, most of the time Adam's right, but like I'm not the one. Like most of the time, Adam's got the better ideas. He's got the better route forward. Uh, I'm just able to come in and put all the pieces in place to make his idea
Right.
come to life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Okay. So hard work. I mean, that's kind of we were talking about branding earlier and your core values and I'm right now I'm listening to Clean Money, so it's
Yeah,
perfect timing. The idea of wanting to be the best and the that mindset. How does that? I mean, to me, it's completely obvious what you do for Hustle Hard Records and that brand. You were talking about how it has to be you. Well, you fight at or work out at or train at Maximus Muay Thai, and you had a fight that was put out for people to watch pay-per-view. That my family, we had. I posted. We had like made a bunch of appetizers, made it a family thing. Everybody, all the fights, and
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. That respect,
and
man.
We were trying to pick. I was trying to pick out people, you know.
Yeah.
And obvious when Adam walked by, and then I was like, "Is that?" You know, that
Yeah,
kind of,
for sure.
it was fun as hell. I hope they keep doing it. I hope they.
Yeah.
I hope that the test run for Adam to fight somebody who mouths off. But I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your fight.
Yeah.
You were a Marine, well deserving of all discounts.
Thank you.
And so I know you have heart. Obviously, you have that drive and everything like that. And then you decided to start, and you box. You don't do Muay Thai, right?
No, I do actually for that. So what's interesting is that I've been training with Richie. I started training with Richie back in 2019.
Richie's the owner of...
Richie's the owner of Maximus Muay Thai. Yeah. He's like the number 7 bantamweight or welterweight in Glory Kickboxing. That dude's got like 40, almost 50 fights around the world. He's fought some of the best fucking dudes in Muay Thai, and still fights. He's got a fight coming up here March 13th in Mexico that we're all going to. I started training with Richie in Muay Thai. COVID happened. He had to shut down the gym, so we kind of stopped training. And then towards the end, he started to open everything back up. And even when I came back to the gym, I was training Muay Thai kickboxing. And then the guy that I fought, Alex Nowak, he only boxed.
I figured there was the limiting reactor was boxing.
Yeah. So that, I mean, fuck. If you were to put me in a kickboxing match with that guy, that'd be a way worse outcome. But he only boxed, and there was a lot of good conversation around. He had a lot more experience. I mean, Alex had been boxing for about 4 years at that point. But everybody knew, I'll say this, everybody knew what lengths I was going to be willing to go to win.
Right.
So that's kind of an interesting point, because I never thought of it like that until this moment. In just substance, you had a dude that had been boxing for 4 years that you put up against a guy who's been boxing for 4 months. And the only reason that fight was made is because everybody knew I was going to go to the extremity like a fucking radical person to be ready for that fight,
You weren't training to stay in shape. You were training to beat the shit out of that dude.
Originally, yes. But even then, man, throughout that process, I got to be honest. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. This could sound arrogant. This could sound sarcastic. That fucking fight was that fight was won from the minute I agreed to it, and I knew because I know Alex. I'd seen Alex around the gym and had a few experiences with him. You can look into someone's eyes and you can watch them train, and you can know if they have a couple things. Number one, are they a killer? Do you have the ability to go in there and flip a switch in your fucking head and say, okay,
Mike Tyson,
we're gonna fucking turn it on and let's go. Number two, do you have the heart to do all of the fucking bullshit that leads up to that moment? The fight is not won in the ring, man. The fight is won at 4 o'clock in the morning when you're waking up to go run fucking 60 minutes, and it's it's fucking 25 degrees outside and there's 3 inches of snow on the ground. Like, that is the most miserable shit. I would rather do a boxing match than do that, Consistency and persistence, right, man? Like consistently fucking showing up, doing the right things. The dieting was huge, man. I started my journey with Richie at 285 pounds. I got serious about it at 278 pounds. I went on a strict diet plan. I said, "This is it. I'm done. Um, I'm gonna train twice a day, 6 days a week. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna commit to this." And then I weighed in 14 weeks later at 220 pounds, and I lost 65 pounds almost, and walked in that ring, 220. So, but my point is, those things, man. When I signed on to take that fight, I'm like, you're not a killer, and you're not gonna fucking outwork me. I already know these things, so it's already a done deal. But at that point, it came more about myself and holding myself accountable, and then starting this journey using him as a stepping stone to move on to bigger things that I wanted to do. Right? Uh, yeah, man. So.
Yeah. And
I don't mean to sound arrogant. I'm not an egotistical
no,
person, but at the same time, I'm gonna be real. Like that motherfucker, that was a stupid decision.
well, I mean, you know,
And most
but
people know,
on
especially in
him,
that
though,
gym,
on him,
especially in that gym, man. Most people know like I was gonna be about it, And I brought Adam in. Adam's probably one of the. I'll say this, going back to Adam. Adam is probably one of the hardest fucking hitting dudes in that gym next to Richie. Adam spars with us every Wednesday, the entire team, and bro, the whole game plan, like you build your confidence through a training camp, right? So my training camp was 10 weeks long, and what you do is you build your confidence, right? You're slowly getting your stamina is getting better, your agility is getting better. You're watching your technique and your skill come in through your sparring sessions. But bigger than anything, if you could, I was taking shots from fucking Adam. And listen, man, I'm not saying this to inflate Adam. I'm not saying Adam will fucking punch the fuck out of you and you will drop. I've watched Adam drop fucking people in the gym. That is not a
just
dude.
so hard your shoulders will
That
touch.
is not a dude. That is not a dude you just stand in the middle of the fucking ring with and exchange, right? But throughout that camp, he was a huge part of building my confidence because I'm sitting here. He would hit me in the body, and I'm like, "Ooh, okay, okay, didn't hurt too bad." Oh, hit me in the face. Okay, okay, we're good.
And
Let's go. So Adam was a huge part of my confidence building because he would spar with me. And Adam is a pressure fighter. Adam likes to walk you down and he's calm the whole time. He's here just breathing, but he's coming. He's coming. He's coming. We knew this guy wasn't going to pressure me and we knew he wasn't going to hit as hard as me. We knew he wasn't going to work as hard as me. And we knew he didn't have the fucking killer instinct. So, I mean, like, I say all these things not to sound like an asshole. I just knew, back when we signed on to do that, I'm like, man, this is a fucking done deal because
but
I'm gonna show up every day, and this guy won't show up every day.
that's that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you about that, and bring it back to you said there aren't very many independent artists out there,
Yeah,
and
truly independent.
truly independent, and I'm one that I am truly independent. Trust me,
Yeah,
brother. I'm
yeah,
independent so much that it hurts.
yeah.
And
It always does.
there are a lot of people like that, and that's why I wanted to talk to you. Um, the mindset that you had to have going into the fight, as far as the work that you put in to be ready physically,
Yeah,
and then also having the confidence mentally, like being ready mentally to go take care of business.
mm-hmm.
As truly independent artists who want to become those people that are, like you said, independent but have financial backing, that grind has to be at that same level.
Yeah, for sure,
And
bro.
talk about the correlation between the two that you've seen just in your comeuppance with, working with Adam and seeing the artists around, and when you hear an artist, what do you think? Oh, these are things that I look for, or maybe anything that you've heard in your guys' camp that people look for, just from as somebody that you're potentially wanting to sign.
Yeah, man. First things first is commitment, right? A lot of people want to be about this shit and they'll talk a lot of fucking shit and they'll, oh yeah, I can do this, no problem. This is difficult shit, right? So the first thing I look for is commitment. It's a lot of hard days, man. A lot of hard days. And dude, if you don't have the heart here, if you don't have the commitment, you're already done, right? I see so many times these artists that want to be an Adam Calhoun, they want to be all these big dudes that are independent at the top. They don't want to put in that work to get it done.
I used to coach football, and I would tell my players, everybody wants to score the touchdowns and get the girlfriends, but nobody to put the work in.
Right. Who was it? Eric Thomas, who said everybody wants to put the shoulder pads on and high five, put the jersey on. Mom, dad, girlfriend are out in the stand, but nobody wants to fucking do the 2-a-days in the summer to get out there. Nobody wants to put in the real fucking hard work to get out there and do that shit, right? So that's the first thing, man, is the commitment, and it shows right away. It literally, it's one of the coolest things because we know within days, right? I know usually within a conversation, I'll talk to you and I'll be like, tell me about what you're doing, right? People that aren't doing it, they usually start that conversation off with some sort of excuse. Well, you see, I got a job, so I haven't been able to got it. Cool, man. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, right? So the first thing is commitment. The second one is your drive, right? And there's more hard days than there are good days, and that's the same thing. Like if we're talking about correlation, man, 4 days out of the 5 days in camp, especially when you get towards the end, when you're in when you're like 4 weeks out from a fight, man. 5 days out of the 6 that I had to wake up and work out at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 out of those 6 days, my body's screaming at me and I want to go back to bed and I don't want to get up and I don't want to do this workout. I don't want to fucking do this.
Yeah,
but I have to get up and do that. And I think if you're an independent artist, you are what I call an indepreneur. You do not have a manager to handle your business management. You do not have a fucking social media manager to handle your social media. You have to go do the artist shit and the business shit on your own. It's hard enough to do the artistic shit and it's hard enough to do all the creative shit, but then you have to also make time to take care of all of your business shit, right? Your merchandise, your website, your everything, right? You're solely focused on all that, man. So that to me is the biggest those are the two biggest correlations between fighting is you got to be in it for the long haul. You got to have the commitment and you got to have the drive to push through the hard days. And then, focus, I think, is probably the third one that I would say. You have to do things in small bursts. It's very easy. I do it every day. It's very easy to see the macro picture of we got to get this done for the merchandise and we got to get this done for the music. You need to start to focus your attention on things so you start to chip away at the bigger thing, right? And that's
kids. How do you eat an elephant?
Yeah, one bite at a time, right? Exactly. Same type of shit, man. And it seems daunting and impossible at the beginning, but then when you get to that last bite, you're like, "Holy shit, we did just eat an elephant," right?
And it's a mindset of are you doing this because you're happy,
Right.
makes you feel good,
Right.
and because you're having a good time, or are you
Right.
doing it to reach a goal?
Yeah, man. And that's the cool thing, right? Is if you're not here, and I'll double down on this, if you're not here for the love, that shows pretty quickly. That shows
Yeah,
pretty quickly. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I think factors, my bad, to fighting in the independent game, right? They are very synonymous and unique in their own ways and very much similar. So, hey, man, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind, I got to hop off here, but there's one last thing I want to share, and it's something that I think is really cool. I think it can help. It'll help everybody on here, and if you don't mind, I'd like to just share that with everyone.
yeah, absolutely.
So one of the biggest questions that people like asking me, man, is how I kind of organize my day to day, and I just want everyone to kind of think about some things. There's four parts of your life that you focus on. That's your body, your relationship, your mind, and your business. If you think about it, everything that you go through during your day falls into one of those four baskets. Your body being, your physical strength and your fitness and your health. Your relationships being your passion, right? Relationships with friends, family, loved ones, wives, children, whatever that may be. Excuse me, your mind, that's your personal development, right? Like what's going on in your mental state, and then business, which is obviously your career. It doesn't mean you own a business, but it's your career. If you take everything that happens in your day to day, you could put it into one of those four baskets, right? So I encourage everyone to start, like, this is what I do for my each year. I break those four categories down, and I write 3 goals in each category that are big that I want to complete by the end of the year. And then what I do is I create a morning routine, and I think I get here. I'll show you guys right here, man. So I keep this notebook with me. I don't know if you guys could see. That's literally just a consistent reminder. I carry this notebook everywhere I go.
You
It's a
write like
cons-
a girl.
I do write like a girl. It's a consistent reminder to focus on these four things every day, and each one needs 100% of your effort, man. If shit's not right in your household, but shit's right in your business, you're fucked up. If shit's right in your household, but shit's not right in your business, you're fucked up. If shit's not right with your health or your mental state, but shit's good in the business and maybe not, like, it all correlates, right? You need to
It's got
focus
a balance.
100%. Right. You got to have balance, right? And then what I do is I write those goals out, and then this is what I create. This is my morning routine right here. I wake up at 4:45 every morning, and this is literally today's got today's date and everything, right? Um, I wake up, I do a cold shower, I do breathing exercises, I go right into my workout. I After I'm done working out, I take time for prayer and you just show gratitude for everything that I have in my life. I
Yep.
do a goal and a why review. So I look over my goals every day, and I look over my why every day to remind me why I do it. And then I journal for that morning, and then I read 10 pages. So this is the book I'm currently reading. Show you guys. This is the book I'm currently reading, Grade by Choice by Jim Collins.
People underestimate, and I'm trying to stress this to my kids. As
Yeah.
some, like, when I was in high school, I read for pleasure, fiction.
Yeah.
I love
No.
King, Dean Koontz, those kinds of books, and adventure books,
Look, man.
and so I love to read, and so many people value reading, especially in the rap game.
Yeah.
The
These are this.
more you work on your vocabulary, and the more you read, you're working on vocabulary, cadence, simile, metaphors. I mean, there's so many things that will make you a better rapper if you would just read.
Dude, your vocabulary will expand. So look, man, these are the books that I've read in the last, I think, 4 months here, right? Seven Habits. This was a thick one.
I
Seven
read
Habits of Highly Effective People,
I read that one 20 years ago.
right? Even as gay as this sounds,
I
Five
never
Love
I
Languages.
never used it. I read it 20 years ago for a job, but I never used it. Go
There
ahead.
you go. Five Love Languages, man. right? This is to help you better understand your partner, right? Another one that's about relationships, what radical husbands do, right? I'm really big. If you guys don't know, I'm really big into my wife, and that's actually why I'm gonna get off of here because we got to spend some time together tonight. But man, all these things, right? And then start with why. Probably, if I could recommend any book, this is the book, right? If you're lost in your life, if you're lost in your business, if you're lost in your relationship, if you're lost in your fitness journey, whatever it is, start with why, right? So, yeah, man, I always read in the morning. I used to not do that, but anyways, man, I tell you guys all this shit because the biggest investment that you'll ever make isn't a financial one. It's time that you put into yourself, man. Um, and I hope I can, this is all I want to do is just be able to empower people and motivate people. I was born, and I'll share really quick. I'm going to finish up with this. I was born to a single mother on the north side of Chicago who had me when she was 18 years old. I grew up in a lot of trouble, man, a lot of fucking trouble. And I didn't think at some points that I was going to have any sort of future. And I definitely wouldn't have thought I'd have a future that looks like this, getting to do the things that I get to do. And I've built a really cool lifestyle that I wanted with people that I wanted. My wife is my best friend, and I truly mean that. My daughter is my pride and joy. And I've been able to go from this kid that was a victim and that statistically has no business being where I am. If you were to follow all of the statistics and all of the, well, you were born underprivileged and you were born without a father and you were born with all this other crazy shit, man. If you were to follow the statistics, I should be in jail or dead right now. And I have a lot of friends that are both. I got a lot of friends that are in jail, and I got a lot of friends that are dead. And then when you combine that with the military and veteran statistics, I'm supposed to be divorced, I'm supposed to be an alcoholic and all these other things. But I've taken the time to invest in myself and pull myself up out of that. And I don't have a college degree, and I've gotten some really cool opportunities, and that's all I've been given. I just needed an opportunity. I was grateful to have someone give me an opportunity back when I was 24 years old. That's how I got into the music industry, and I ran to the fullest and didn't stop until uh, I felt somewhat comfortable. And even then, I'm still not comfortable, but I definitely go through, listen, I'm human. I go through my moments of, ups and downs, and I battle with myself.
What did you do in the music industry before ACal?
Well, that's how I got started in the music industry. I did promotion work for Grunt Style. So I worked with I worked with Kane Brown, Kanan Smith, just so much shit, right, man? I worked on the promotion side of the industry, and yeah, man. So the biggest thing I can tell you is to invest in yourself. Come up with this right here, a morning routine. And then if you take anything away, set a power list. So this was my power list. 5 things that you need to get done every day. It might be a phone call, might be a conversation you need to have with your wife. And look, I'll put it out there publicly for you guys, right? But a power list is 5 things that you got to get done for that day. And it has to get done by any means possible. No excuses, no bullshit. Hold yourself accountable. Make the fucking commitment to yourself, man. And that's the greatest investment you can make is in yourself. So that's what I leave you guys with, man. Uncle Turtle, thank you so much for having me on, man. I hope I was able to just give some of these people some value.
All you did, and whether you like it or not, all you did was mean we're going to have a part 2 because
For sure, man. I was gonna say I'd love to come back on and we'll go a little bit deeper. But I genuinely, I hope everybody got some sort of value out of it. And that's all I really want to do, man. My whole goal, people always ask me all the time, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I just want to help people. Genuinely, I just want to help people, right? Sometimes it's through and I understand like sometimes it's got to be through raw motivation, and you'll see a lot of that on my page because that's what works. That's what's worked for me is just straight up raw, honest thoughts. Sometimes people need to like be just reminded that everything's going to be okay and that they need to keep going and trust the process. So I get it all, but I'm a people person, man. I hope I can give some value, and I appreciate everybody's time, but I got to hop off of here. Uncle Turtle, thank you so much for having me on, man. I respect the shit out of you. I've been watching you. I think there's 3 dudes that are doing these live feeds. I know you're an artist first, but I just want to say I do think there's 3 people that are making an impact on the media side of this, and that's Uncle Turtle, Dylan Talks, and Honest Jake. Right, and I see a lot of the other fakes trying to do some other shit, man. But that's why I agreed to come on here because I think the 3 of you guys are doing a great job, man. So thank you. I'll definitely come back on. We'll talk some more. If anybody has any questions, dude, everybody knows if you know me, I'm an open book. You can just DM me and I fucking hit you right back as fast as I can with what knowledge I have. All I want to do is help. So that's it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to know what it is, Justin just told you. Thank you, Justin Orick. If you don't follow him, you need to. You just got done dropping knowledge, dropping big facts.
Thank you.
And I guarantee you that I will be in your ear about doing this again.
Let's do it, man.
I'm interviewing Domain.
Oh, my dude. I'm so happy.
Talk about his process because he's so creative and he
is so creative.
Stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, man, he does.
And so I want to talk to him about his creative process and how much of a stickler he is for his sound because he mixes the majority of his stuff too.
Yeah, he does. Awesome, man. Well, I will hop off of here. Thank you guys so much for listening to me talk. I hope you took some value, and Uncle Turtle will definitely do it again. I hope everybody has a good night, man. Take care.
Tell your wife I apologize.
Will do. That's all right. Take care, guys.
So much. Thank you.
Bye.
Woo! Oh my damn.